Good evening, friends. Hello from Ukraine. Welcome to the update about Russian-Ukrainian war, where Russia is aggressor and invader, trying to destroy Ukraine as a nation, people of Ukraine, Ukrainian economy, and the past and the future. Thank you to all the partners, all the people who are staying these days with Ukraine and Ukrainians. God bless you. And we'll start from the front line. The front line, we didn't have the big changes on the front line. Situation quite the same. It means that the Russian military aggressors, they're trying to push an attack in the regions of Liman, regions of Bakhmut, and the region of area of Marinka. And our guys are staying strong there, and Russian has no success. Plus, on the Bakhmut around on the north and the south, Ukraine have some advance there. Coming to the south, Ukraine step by step taking back the territories. Not big changes for this moment can be confirmed, but we know it's going non-stop. That's it. The second thing, what happened during these 24 hours, it's the invaders launched a missile attack from Belarus to the Pokrovsk area, it's the Donetsk region, and they destroyed the school. According to Donetsk regional prosecutor, 2 people died, a 56-year-old primary school teacher and a 44-year-old chief accountant. 6 other employees, 4 men and 2 women, were injured. That's a phase of Russian attempts to destroy. The next is the former vice president and the presidential candidate Mike Pence came to Ukraine with a visit, and Pence became the first Republican presidential candidate to meet with Zelensky during the election campaign. Not much comment on that. We will see the result. I hope it's a good sign for Ukraine. I really hope for that. What about the Wagner and Belarus? BBC has published a new satellite image of the Wagner Group's base near the village of Tsel in Belarus. According to the Belarusian Gayun project, these are M30 army tanks, which every can keep about up till 30 soldiers, and totally in that area they can place about 8,000 Wagner's mercenaries, prisoners, criminals, I would say. Then, about the Poland, due to the fact that Russia is deploying tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, we are asking the entire NATO bloc to participate in the nuclear sharing program. This is what Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, said. And the Polish, it's an answer to the Polish people don't want to wait, and they want to initiate, and surely it is possible only after confirmation with the United States and the NATO. This sharing program, which means moving the nuclear to the country which requested. Next fact about Ukraine and the war. 78 Ukrainians having relatives or the friends who were killed or being wounded on this war. It tells us that almost every Ukrainian are struggling because of this war at this moment, and this number are growing up every day. This is why we really need help. Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian armed forces, Zaluzhny, you know him as the face of Ukrainian army. And the first thing he said on the big interview he gave, first time during the month, maybe even more, a couple things which I believe it's important to share. First thing, it's he's annoyed when the people saying that the Ukrainian offensive is moving slowly. At first, it's not a show. It's not where you can place the bets. This is the war, and this is the high price we pay, Ukrainian army paying by blood of Ukrainian warriors. The next thing, he's constantly in touch with General Miller, and he is non-stop asking for supplies of weapon and ammunition, and Miller understands it, but not everything depends on him. But this is the position of Zaluzhny, asking all non-stop more munition and a weapon. About the Leopard, Ukraine received Leopard tanks not to be used on a parade, and it's an answer to the critique of that Ukraine lost some tanks in the beginning of offensive combat work. On the battlefield, any Leopard for Russian is a target, and Russians constantly they were expecting these Leopards. This is like something they want really to destroy, and every tank they're hunting, paying everything to destroy NATO tanks. This is something special for them, and Ukraine lost some tanks on this battle. But this is the tools, and this is the war. The fighters Ukraine has at this moment in service cannot stand to the Russians ones. Ukraine does not need many planes, but need really good ones to answer and to fight at least somehow in the air. Because at this moment, Russia using their Ki-8-52 on the south direction, on the south front, quite effectively, and Ukraine has nothing to answer with. Coming to Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, the General Zaluzhny said that armed forces will continue to attack, doesn't matter what kind of threats they will hear or maybe happened on Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Then, yes, PMC Wagner left the front line, but it doesn't make Russian defense really weaker. It's really staying strong, and Ukraine has really tough time there on the direction. So we cannot expect big changes there just because the Wagner left. General Zaluzhny said, I have many fears, and the Wagner one of these fear. But our goal is to work to prepare for the worst and to do the maximum possible for preparing for different events which Russia can prepare for Ukraine could answer. Why decisions are being made with supplying with munitions or aircraft? Ukraine losing people, soldiers every day. The number of NATO planes patrolling our western borders is twice as large as the number of Russian ones which is attacking Ukraine and destroying Ukrainian positions. Why we can take at least the third part of that and move it here, like to Ukraine. We have nothing, and real Ukraine, non-nuclear country, fighting against of nuclear country with the biggest territory in the world. There is still so many questions. Is it needed to help? And I will quote General Zaluzhny. We have agreement 24/7, we are in touch, so sometimes can call and say, if I don't get 100,000 shells in a week, 1,000 people will die. Stand in my place. Zaluzhny on a communication with the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff of the United States Army, Mark Milley. And in the end, I want for us to see the picture and from Kherson region, where we will go to and soon, and I will share what we're bringing there. It's a publication grant, published a video filmed by local resident of Kherson region collecting potatoes so they do not rot underwater. This is so people were expecting the harvest of potato, but because of situation with the Kakhovka Dam and what Russians made, their terrorist event there, people losing everything. So they're trying by that, saving at least a part of the harvest for they would survive. And as I did promise in the end, this is we reached some mayors of the villages right across of Kakhovka Dam, that area, and it's a place where people are really struggling, and they 8 months with no electricity there, and the closest villages as well. And we got specific requests to help. So their wells are poisoned; they cannot use it because of the flood. And they have really just in one of the villages they have only one water source, which is still clean because it's really deep. And the mayor, it's a woman, she requested for the whole village to help, to buy a special water container for 1,000 tons, specific one, for they could prepare regularly the water for 1,000 liters, and being able to help people, to supply people water non-stop. And they surely requested the other thing which is most needed. It's solar power banks and solar flashlights, something for people could use without electricity. And the main request, she said, it's after that territory were under the water, the ground ticks appeared there, and people are struggling, and they said that the regular sprays against the mosquito doesn't work. So we challenged now, we're looking the best option to help with. So this is our plan, and we will do it together with you. On the next week, I hope, we will be there helping and bringing not just a container like this, but specific sprays and medicine she requested, and part of food for sure as well. So I believe the next couple days you will have more update on this. And by that, I want to say thank you to all the partners. Thank you that you're staying together. Thank you for helping, for sharing the truth. Thank you for listening the hearts of Ukrainians by interesting the news, what's going on the battlefield and what's going on in Ukraine. Thank you very much, and God bless. See you soon. This is the heart from Ukraine, and Pastor Greg, today he has surgeries. He cannot be with us, but we expect to see him quite soon. Bye.